Hello, YouTube world. Now, I talk about this recount as it's finishing out, wrapping up. And what did the recount accomplish? Nothing. Jill Stein, I bet, was trying to hurt Trump or trying to return three states: Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. Trying to overturn all those states to Hillary Clinton, I bet, which is going on TV saying to test the accuracy of the vote to make sure everyone's votes count. In Wisconsin, now I believe what I've read online, but keeping track, real close eye on this, I believe she pretty much, she pretty much helped Trump more than anything else. Trump gained over a dozen votes. Trump, what I've read, gained more votes than Hillary. The most votes she gained was like 86 votes, and Trump all over 100 votes. And most of her votes, what I understand, came in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So the overturn of the election in Wisconsin is very unlikely to happen. PA, same scenario. Trump beat her by 44,000 votes. Originally was 70, dropped down to 40, but still reigned short, just shy of 5%, which will lead to automatic recount of the state, but it didn't happen. And a lot of those counties did recount, and not much changed. And Michigan is a whole different story. They tried to do a recount in Michigan. First of all, Detroit ran into all kinds of problems, and all those votes for Hillary Clinton, I think about 600 votes, something like that, 600 ballots, I would say, has to be discarded, thrown away, improper ballots. And Hillary Clinton won Detroit over 60% of the vote. Where the federal judge, I think it's Judge Mathis, ordered the recount to start, they took it to the Court of Appeals. They ordered the recount, said that recount's unlawful. Then the judge said, stop the recount. Now, this recount, Jill Stein, the presidential Green Party nominee, I would say, which is a joke. This whole recount turned her into a joke. It didn't accomplish nothing, not a damn thing. And what I do believe, the three states, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, who faithfully voted Democrat for a lot of elections. I say Pennsylvania and Michigan faithfully voted Democrat since 92. 92 on up, they voted Democrat. Wisconsin, 84, all the way up to 2012, faithfully voted Democrat. Yet this year, in 2016, they all went Republican. Donald Trump was the first Republican candidate who carried all three of those states in, I say over 34 years, let's put it that way. Wisconsin especially. Pennsylvania and Michigan, 88, we'll say 30 years, I guess. But I find it surprising, how people like Jill Stein are such sore losers. I mean, the attorney there, who's testifying against Jill Stein, I would say, made a good statement. She's trying to do a recount of the vote that she has no chance of winning. And the Court of Appeals agreed with him, rightfully so, in Michigan. There's no way in hell none of those three states will turn to Jill Stein. That was impossible. Wasn't going to happen. And far as turning those states into Hillary Clinton, not going to happen. This recount nonsense should prove that beyond a shadow of a doubt. Now remember, when PA started doing this recount, for counties, Pennsylvania, they said it had all these absentee ballots to count. If I read all the absentee ballots in each county has to count absentee ballots, such as 10, 12, 14, 15, 8. I'm like, what the fuck? It's like thousands, but it's only a handful of absentee ballots they had to recount. Maybe in PA a lot more, yes, because it's a bigger city. But after everything's said and done, Trump still carried Pennsylvania. He still carried, and most likely Michigan will stay at Trump. And Wisconsin, more so than ever. I mean, Trump gained votes in Wisconsin. Jill Stein accomplished the opposite what she was trying to do. And how in the hell do you expect to flip three states over when you're claiming voter fraud, computer hacking, everything else? Well, you don't have no clear evidence. All you have is speculation. She even said it. Everybody has said there is no evidence. And they even said All the voting machines are not connected to the internet. Obama says there's no evidence. President Obama says there's no evidence of that. They looked into the investigate, found no evidence of it. President Obama was against the recount, and rightfully so. Hillary Clinton was on the backside, kind of passively supporting it because she won't make a fool of herself, rightfully so. So she sent Jill Stein over there to be her her little puppet, little patsy to do this neat recount nonsense. And right now she's looking like a fool. Now, what did everybody expect? What did these Jill Stein supporters and all these recount supporters expect to happen? That all votes didn't count. What you could expect 1 million votes to appear out of nowhere for Hillary Clinton, which is very unlikely to do. How can you expect 1 million votes to appear out of nowhere for Hillary Clinton that they didn't count? I mean, you should realize you got federal and state laws. Every state has its voting laws. The federal government has its voting laws, and the people who works the polls, they're under a tight microscope. They have to make sure every vote is counted accurately. Accurately, I should say that. They have to do it fair. They have to be bipartisan. They can't pick and choose which state goes to which candidate. They just can't do that. They have to go by the votes. Was the votes 100% accurate in Wisconsin? No. Like the guy says, it never is. It never will be. It'll be like 95, 96. I was saying even 98, 99% accurate. But it'll never be 100%. Yes, Trump lost, gained, but he gained more than he lost. Hillary Clinton, I do admit, she lost, gained, and she gained a little more when she lost. But Trump expanded her lead in Wisconsin. Expanded his lead in Wisconsin. I mean, the most votes she had was in Milwaukee. She had 86 extra votes in Milwaukee, something like that. Forgot the numbers. But Trump, about all it did is help Trump in Wisconsin. In Michigan, I mean, it turns out all kinds of problems. They can't do a recount in Michigan. The federal judge at first says start the recount, then then a few days later, after the Supreme Court, but at the appeals court says halt the recount. It's unlawful, and the same federal judge Mathis agreed, and he ordered the recount to stop. Now, Jill Stein, in her in her potsy, wants to take it to the Michigan Supreme Court, which is not going to accomplish a damn thing. How can a woman during the presidential run didn't even raise, I think, $5 million to do her campaign, yet she raised over $9 million to do this neat recount about nonsense? And all those people who donated all this money, everything to do the recount, is going to learn the hard way. You just throw a whole bunch of money away and wasted a lot of time for no reason whatsoever. Some of my friends who are Clinton supporters even acknowledge, yes, after all said and done, Trump will be our next president. On January 20th, he's going to take the oath of office. You can't stop it now. The election has already been decided to go to Trump. Hillary Clinton tapped out. She called Trump, conceded the election. A few days later, did her concession speech. After all this nonsense, after Trump's victory, what a lot of you liberals pulled and everything else, I'm starting to lose all respect for you. I can't take you seriously, especially after this recount nonsense, which it proved nothing. Oh, by the way, PA is run by Democrats right now, and they didn't like to do the recount, and they stopped it, rightly so. They did a partial recount, I believe, but what I've read is not going to happen in PA. The state courts rejected Jill Stein's request to do some kind of forensic analysis on the voting machine. She wants to take it to federal court now. And all she's doing is wasting her time. Wasting money, and everything else. And if I was Wisconsin, if I was the governor, I would charge Jill Stein every fucking last cent I can on the recount. I mean, $3.5 million, I think, something like that's costing right now. But if it is $3.5 million and 1 penny, I would charge her $3.5 million and 1 cent. I will not cut her a break on this recount because she wasted a lot of time and effort on this stupid recount. Jill Stein's a fraud, and I guarantee the money left over after this recount nonsense is going to her or her Green Party's bank account. It's not going to accomplish nothing. It's not going to help nobody out. And yes, your vote counted. Everybody who voted this year counted. It may not want to go where you wanted to go, but it counted. And Jill Stein has took this opportunity to put her face in the spotlight, to waste a lot of time, a lot of other people's money for the stupid recount. And it made her and her Democrat allies look like idiots. Well, YouTube world, thank you for watching. Have a good day, and bye-bye.